Welcome back to another Evolution Inspires recording. Today I am joined by George Brak, who is a very successful program manager and has led teams across some of Sydney's top 4 financial firms. But it's great to have you here today, George.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
Awesome. So the first question I have for you is, what's one piece of career advice you wish someone had given you when you were starting out?
So I think it's really important to have a learning plan in place and having a structured approach in executing that plan. When I think back at what I would include in that plan is things like technology, and this is what gaps you have, what do you need to uplift. Actually having a plan about getting to know your team. So, informal catch-ups, really learning who you're working with, and it's a fantastic thing, fun thing to do. Who are the end users that you're going to be working with? And in there, focus on how is the product going to get used, what challenges they will encounter. Then stakeholders, what are they after? How are your goals aligned? And if they aren't, which sometimes you'll find they aren't, why not? And that might be something you might need to work through. Then considering who are the competitors, what actually differentiates your company to the competitors, and what opportunities does that present? Now, that's a great thing to do at the start of your career, but then I always think it's really important to redo this at every job change. When you get promoted, if you change companies, even if you change from a large project, obviously the criteria and emphasis may need to change.
That is awesome insight. Thank you so much. I do really agree with you that reflecting onto the actual business problem and the bigger picture of things can have a great impact. Incredible stuff there. Thank you. The second question of the day, can you share a pivotal moment in your career journey that had a significant impact?
Yeah, so early on in the career, I always thought, look, your manager will always know what I'm doing. They will see everything. They're across everything. I kind of found out in other ways. In my first performance review in a large organization, I realized that may not always be the case. I had sat down with my boss and my boss's boss. They went through all the performance review. They went through a criteria. Look, while everything was okay, I was a bit surprised that a lot of things didn't get picked up. So being curious, I asked some clarifications on what I needed to do to help them to become better and for them to see some of the work that I was doing. Through the next 6 months, I started to collect data and metrics that I could use. So in 6 months' time, sat down. Guess what? The conversation started the same way. Then I pulled out a nice thick set of reports covering a whole range of data and metrics. They were actually pleasantly surprised when we went through this, and the boss's boss actually changed the outcome on the spot. In future reviews, what we ended up having is they used to joke. They said, look, at the start of it, they say, so George, what should we give you?
No, that's awesome. Really, really insightful. Thank you, George. Third question of the day. How do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life? And what is your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
I think the key thing is actually firstly being self-aware, and I'll explain why. When you're self-aware, you're noticing when problems might occur, or you're seeing that either you're going under a high level of stress, a high level of pressure. Because the real aim is to prevent those problems from occurring, or resolving them when they're still small. Don't leave them for another day. So what I do when I'm under a lot of pressure, I suggest that people step back, actually take a deep breath, pause. Then I come up with a current to-do list. I place each item on an urgency versus priority matrix. So urgent, This is the things from your bosses, your CEO, etc. Priorities, how important is this from business outcomes, a range of perspectives. Once I have that view of the world, I adjust my calendar. That might mean moving, cancelling meetings, creating that focus time, and then getting to those high urgency, high priority items done first, while I actually create a plan for all the other high priority items. You don't want to forget about them, because at some point someone will ask you for them, and their expectation might be that you've already done them. Where I want to urge some caution, if this is something that's happening to you on a regular basis, it's probably a good idea to understand what the real why is behind this and resolve that root cause. Now, then what sometimes we forget is, don't forget to enjoy the journey and celebrate your and your team's successes.
Absolutely. No, I love all that, George. It very much resonates with myself as well. I think pinning down on the why, and then, like you said, recognizing that you're focusing on the right things, and then, yeah, like celebrating the little wins along the way, along the journey. No, that is incredible. I really, really appreciate you joining this contribution. I think this is quite powerful for a lot of people across all different industries. So thank you very much.
Most welcome, Shauna.